Hello everyone, welcome. So today we will learn the control and coordination that's taking place in plants. Okay, from class 10 CBSE. So animals have a nervous system for controlling and coordinating the activities of the body. But plants, they don't have any nervous system, nor they do have any muscle. Okay, but we would have seen that if we touch a chui mui or the touch me not plant or the mimosa family, they will fold or droop down. Okay, even we see that when seeds germinate, the root moves towards down and the shoots will move up, right? So firstly, the leaves of the sensitive plant, they move very quickly in response to touch. So here the stimuli is touch and their drooping is the response. The drooping is their response. Okay, then after that, so there is no growth involved in this movement. So on the other hand, what happens in roots and shoots? Growth is involved. Now, first and foremost, so by this we can say there are two different types of movement. One which is dependent on growth and one which is independent of growth. Now let us talk about immediate response to stimuli, like in touch me not plant. Okay, you touch the touch me not plant and it just stooped down, it just drooped down very soon. So immediately that is happening. So that is an immediate response to a stimulus, and the stimulus here is touch. Okay, so what happens when we touch? So when we touch, what is happening? The information that a touch has occurred, this is being communicated, and the plant, what it does, it will use this electrochemical signals that is happening, thus electrical chemical means to convey this information from cell to cell. But unlike in animals, there is no specialized tissue in plants for conduction of information. There is no nervous system. So finally, again, like in animals, what happens? Some cells, they change the shape, and then in order for the movement to happen, so instead of specialized proteins which is found in animal muscle cells, plants, they change the shape by changing the amount of water in them, resulting in the swelling or shrinking, and therefore changing the shapes. So that is in response to the stimulus. Next, coming to movement due to growth. So when we tell this kinds of movement that happened in touch me not plant, that is known as nastic movement. So there is a nastic movement. So this is a response, immediate response to touch. Okay, now coming into movement due to growth. Fine. So some plants like pea plant, they climb up. Other plants or fence by means of tendrils. Now these tendrils, they are sensitive to touch. So when they come in touch, what happens? When they come in touch, okay, they will come in contact, and this particular of with any object, so they will just rapidly make it as a part of the tendril and away from the object. Okay, so now this tendrils, they come in contact with the object, they does not grow as rapidly as a part of the tendril away from the object. So this causes the tendril to circle around the object and thus clinging to it. So they will find an object, they will cling to it, they will attach to that, and they will grow. More commonly, plants respond to stimulus slowly by growing in particular direction. So they will respond in the particular direction. So when a plant is responding to the touch and they are growing slowly because of the touch that it has felt, when they feel a touch, they are going to cling to, or they are going to take the support of that object and then continue its growth. So this kind of movement is known as thigmotropism. Thigmo means touch. Thigmotropism. So this is thigmotropism. Okay. Next. Now, environmental triggers such as light or gravity, they will also change the direction in which the plant is growing. Okay, so here what is happening? The direction or tropic or movement can be either towards the stimulus or away from the stimulus. If it is towards the stimulus, then we say it is positive, and if it is against the stimulus, it is known as negative. Okay, so now for example, let us say, what is tropism? Tropism is nothing but respond to stimulus. Okay, so when I say for example, I say phototropism. Phototropism is nothing but it is responding to stimulus. Tropism is response to stimulus. Fine. And photo is light, so it is responding to light. So if the growth is towards the light, so I have the shoots which grows towards the light, so shoots will show positive phototropism, and the roots will move away from the light, so it will show negative phototropism. Okay, so that is positive and negative. So here in the roots of the plants always grow downwards, while the shoots always grow upwards and away from the earth. This upward and downward growth of shoots and roots respectively in response to the pull of earth's gravity is obviously geotropism. Hydro means water, chemo refers to chemicals. So thus we have hydrotropism, chemotropism and all those things. Okay. Now, one example of chemotropism is the growth of pollen tubes towards the ovules, about which we will learn in the, we'll examine in the reproductive process. So, let us once again think about how information is communicated in bodies of multicellular organisms. The movement of the sensitive plant in response to touch is very quick. The movement of sunflower in response to day and night, or the other hand, is quite slow. Growth related movement of plants is even slower. So even in animal bodies, there are careful controlled directions to growth. Our arms, our fingers, they grow in certain direction, not haphazardly. So controlled movements can be either slow or fast. If fast response to stimulus are made, information transfer must be very quickly. For this, the medium of transmission must be more rapidly. Now, electric impulse are an excellent means of this, but there is a limitation to use electric impulse. Firstly, they will reach only those cells that are connected by the nervous tissue, not each and every cell in the body. Secondly, one electric impulse is generated in a cell and transmitted. The cell will take some time to reset its mechanism before it can generate and transmit a new impulse. In other words, the cells cannot continually create and transmit electric impulse. It is thus no wonder most multicellular organisms use another means of communication between cells, which is chemical communication. If instead of generating an electric impulse, stimulated cells release chemical compounds, the compounds will diffuse all around the original cell. If the other cell around have means to detect this compound using special molecules on their surface, then they would be able to recognize the information and even transmit it. This will be slower, of course, but it can potentially reach all the cells of the body, regardless of nervous connections. So, here what happens is different plant hormones, they help to communicate growth. So what are the different plant hormones we have? We have auxins, we have gibberellins, cytokinins, and abscisic acids we have. So herein the auxins, when growing plants detect light, auxins are synthesized at the shoot tip and they will grow longer. When the light is coming from one side, so auxins will diffuse towards the shady side and the shady side of the shoot. Okay, this concentration of auxins, they will stimulate the cells grow longer on the side of the shoot away from the light. So if the shoot was growing, so there is an auxin generated here, the shoot will bend away. Okay, so that is how it is happening. Fine. Now, thus the plant appears to be bending towards the light. Another example of plant hormones is gibberellins, which is like auxins. They help in the growth of the stem. Cytokinins for cell division. Okay, rapid cell divisions in fruits, formation of seeds, and all those. There are examples of plant hormones that help in promoting growth, but plants also needs to stop it. Like abscisic acid is one of the example to inhibit the cell growth. Okay, and it affects include wilting of the leaves. So this is all about the plant coordinating system. Thank you. We will discuss about the hormones again.